What's up, guys? Beat Up coming at you here with another video. Today, this is a request video that I got from someone on my experience with the Jeep service department. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So you guys, I had so much faith in Jeep that they were going to do wonders for my Rubicon and we're going to treat it with the best care possible, especially since I spent a lot of money on it and it's like top of the line Rubicon. And I was highly disappointed, to be honest. So let me just kind of start the story here with how this whole thing happened. So after the first 5,000 miles were put on my Jeep, I brought it up to my local dealership, which is just about like 5 miles up the road, really close by. And I had made an appointment with them because I specifically said that I wanted someone who was seasoned working on my vehicle to do the oil change and tire rotation, which I didn't think would be a big deal anyways, because it's really simple to do it. I would have done it myself, but I have the Jeep Wave program where you get like 5 free or whatever. So I wanted them to make a mess, in their shop, not do it in my garage. So what had happened was they first tried to get me with someone in Express, and I said, no, I don't really think I need to go to Express. I'll just make an appointment with someone just because I want them being seasoned and want them to know what they're doing and stuff. And they said, okay, no problem. So I make my appointment, I get there, and I'm told it's going to just be about 45 minutes to an hour. So I walked across the street to the Wendy's, had some lunch, walked around a little bit, went into Goodwill, looked at books, came back, and they're still working on the Jeep. And it's been about an hour. And I go, excuse me, how much longer till my Jeep is done? They're like, probably about another hour or so. And I'm like, wait, over 2 hours for an oil change and tire rotation? Like, what's going on? It's not that complicated. They said that the guy is having troubles with getting the housing off of the backup camera. He didn't know how to do it. And I'm just like, sir, all you do, you take your tool out of the torque bit kit, okay? Put it in, turn it to the left, slide it off. It's like not that hard. And then they were saying, oh, the tires are too heavy. Way too heavy of tires. He couldn't get the tire off. And I said, well, he'll be really struggling then when I put 35s on it because these are stock 33s. So yeah, okay. And then I was really nervous at that point. Like my heart was like palpitating. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Like you guys don't know what the hell you're doing at all. You really don't. You don't. So then I was just sitting there watching him like a hawk in the waiting room, like waiting, almost as if my baby was like in the hospital, like anxiously waiting. So at that point, get the Jeep home. It's the next day. I get ready to leave. And all of a sudden, there's this huge puddle of oil, like this big, all over the garage floor. And first thing I could think is like, are you kidding me right now? Oil all over the floor. And I looked at my back tire too, and the tread was still new. So the guy never even rotated my back tire like he claimed he did. Never did it. So I drove back on up to Jeep, right up the street, and said, hey, look, I have a problem here. I sent him video of the oil all over the garage, video of the tire tread, showing him that that's still new tread, never been touched before. And the service manager's like, oh, I'm so sorry about that, yada, yada. We'll go ahead and not let this count towards your Jeep Wave, and we'll make it right for you. So they then had someone change my oil again, make sure the nut was on the oil pan all the way because the guy didn't tighten it all the way. And that's what happened with the leaking all over the floor. And then we get to the problem of the back tire with the service manager. So I show him, I say, hey, your guy never rotated my back tire like he had promised. Like he said he did. I specifically wanted it rotated just so they all wear evenly, You don't want to just leave that back one on there with never being rotated. And he's like, he did too. Yeah, he did. He's all like looking at it like, no, this is not new tread. He rotated it. I'm like, no, he didn't. He did not. So I had to go home. The guy didn't believe me. I went home, told my dad what happened, and then my dad was like pissed. My dad came up there. He drove the Rubicon up there with me and said, hey, look, this tire was never rotated. And then the manager's like, you know what? You're right. You're right. He's like, I'm sorry, but you're right. And my dad was just saying, like, this is a bunch of crap just because she's a girl. It's her Rubicon, and you don't believe a word she's saying just because she's a girl. Like, I have to come down here with her for you to believe us. And basically, that's how that went. So, that service manager, I guess, is fired. And I'm never going back to that one again, you guys. I went back there recently, actually, when my radio was having problems. Like, the backup camera was showing a blue screen, and radio kept cutting in and out. Guy there said that there's nothing they could do until it's actively doing the issue, but it was doing the issue on a Sunday when they were closed, so I couldn't ring it in. But, yeah, I'm never going back to that one again. So, now I go to the Jeep dealership that's about 25, 30 minutes away from my house. I actually got to bring it there tomorrow for oil change and tire rotation. So, it just, I mean, you guys, it's so frustrating because it's like, you should be able to really put your heart and soul into a dealership, like into their service department. They should stand behind that. And with this being my first Jeep and my first experience ever at a Jeep service department, I was pretty annoyed. And it made me really lose my confidence in that dealership and my faith in them too. I mean, I just was annoyed, frustrated, and I just couldn't believe that they would treat my vehicle that way. And I made it clear to them. I was like, you guys, this is my daily driver. This thing is like $60,000. It doesn't matter if it was $10,000. It's still someone's vehicle. But they just thought it was kind of like funny. You know, it's not funny at all. But yeah, I just couldn't believe it. Even when making an appointment with them. It's funny because the lady the other day when I called to make my appointment with the better dealership, the one that I've been going to the past 2 times, she was like, oh, you can just go through Express. And I was like, no, I don't want to do Express. With my Honda Civic, I did Express, and everything was always great there. Like, they were great. I didn't have to worry about it. I never had oil leaking all over the garage floor. They knew what they were doing, and I felt confident with them working on my vehicle. I never had a bad experience with Honda, but with Jeep, it's a whole different story. It's been a terrible experience for service, definitely. They don't stand behind their customers, I feel. Like, it's just been a really bad experience. So that, you guys, has been my experience with the Jeep dealership. Not a good one. Don't go to them if they don't know what they're doing, or if they don't listen to you or don't believe you. So don't trust some of them out there. Some of the dealerships are really great, though. They have great people working, but some of them, not so much. So I hope that this video was kind of helpful, guys. As I mentioned, it was a request video on service department with Jeep. It's not been a good experience at all, but hopefully it'll get better with going to this new dealership. So thanks again, guys, for watching, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, guys, and remember, Jeep hair don't care.